This video is created by Jagrat Creation. This video, wherein I intend to explain multiple choice questions based on a chapter of consignment accounting. This consignment accounts MCQs, multiple choice questions, are useful to the students who are reading for CA-CPT, even 12 Commerce, FYBcom, ICWAI Foundation, etc. Old name is CA Foundation. I would like to take one sum on consignment accounting, and the multiple choice questions are framed on the basis of the question given to you, and I will give you the explanation for all those multiple choice questions. The sum that I want to consider for multiple choice question, I want you to observe that on the screen. Please do that. This is the sum. Choose the most appropriate answers from the given options. So I am going to give you multiple choice questions over here. This is the entire details of the sums given to you. On the basis of this sum, various types of multiple choice questions are being framed and they will be explained to you one by one. Just observe. The first must, Atit of Ahmedabad consigned 100 tape recorders costing 1,000 each to Gaurav of Godhra at an invoice price of 1,200 each on 1st of January 2007. He incurred the following expenses while sending the goods. Insurance premium 1,000, carriage 200, freight 800. On 1/1/2007, Atit drew a 3 months bill for rupees 20,000 on Gaurav, which was immediately returned by later, duly accepted. Atit discounted the said bill on 4th of February 2007 at the rate of 12% discount. Gaurav is entitled to have 4% commission and 2% allocated commission. On 31st of December 2007, Gaurav sent an account sale and the bank draft for the amount due. From the account sale, following informations are available. So if you look at the sum, this is the details, the expenses paid by the consignee, Gaurav. 2 tape recorders completely destroyed. There is abnormal loss. He sold 20 tape recorders at rupees 1,200 for cash. This is cash sale. This is credit sale. This is also credit sale. Out of the amount receivable from Motilal, 200 could not be recovered. So here the details of bad debts are given to you. This is also details for bad debts are given to you. So if you look at the sum, I have taken the contents of entire sum, which is asked as a practical question in examination. But here I am going to convert this entire sum into multiple choice questions, and I will make calculations and try to explain to you. So by the explanation of this, you will understand how many various types of multiple choice questions could be asked on the basis of this type of sum. I am also going to explain the journal entries for the purpose of recording and solving this sum. Just observe. The first question, invoice price of the goods sent by Atit. Here Atit is a consignor. Consignor is a person who sends the goods at his own risk and at his own risk to be sold by the agent known as consignee. Here, Gaurav is the consignee, Atit is the consignor. He is at Ahmedabad, Gaurav is at Godhra. Now, first multiple choice question. Invoice price of the goods sent by Atit. What is the invoice price? Now, this is the entire details of the sum. Now, here this red color identifies the details of question on the basis of which you are required to answer this multiple choice question. So I have converted its color to be red. Now, Atit of Ahmedabad consigned 100 tape recorders costing 1,000 each to Gaurav of Godhra at an invoice price of 1,200 on 1/1/2007. This is the information on the basis of which the invoice price will be found out. The multiple choice questions given to you. So these are the 4 options. Out of these 4 options, you have to select one. Now let me go for calculation to arrive at the correct answer. So cost is 1,000, invoice price 1200. Difference between the cost price and invoice price is known as profit or load. So 1000 is the cost, 20 is the profit or load, and 1200 is the invoice price. Now this is per unit. How many units are sent? The number of units are sent are 100. So multiply all this cost with 100, profit with 100, invoice price per unit with 100. So here you will get 1 lakh cost, 20,000 is the profit loaded therein, 1,20,000 is the invoice price. Now the invoice price of goods sent by Atit, the question answer 1,20,000. Option B is the correct answer. This is how I have considered the first MCQ. Now look at the second. Adjustment entry in the books of Atit for goods sent on consignment. Now goods sent to the consignee at an invoice price. When the goods are sent at an invoice price, the journal entry is what? Consignment account debit to goods sent on consignment account credit. And when the profit load included in the invoice price is required to be adjusted, you are required to write the reverse entry. So when the goods are sent, consignment account debit to goods sent on consignment. But when you want to reverse the profit load in the invoice price, you are required to write the reverse entry, goods sent on consignment account debit to consignment account credit. Now adjustment entry in the books of Atit for goods sent on consignment. So these are the options given to you. These are the 4 options given to you. Consignment account debit 20,000 to Atit account credit 20,000. This is not possible because you are required to write the journal entry in the books of Atit. Atit account cannot be credited. Gaurav account debit to consignment account credit. Here we have not given anything, just profit is added in the cost and the goods are sent to the consignee. So when the goods are sent, what is the entry? Consignment account debit to goods sent on consignment account credit. And the reverse entry is to be recorded for profit load to identify cost in the consignment account. So journal entry, goods sent on consignment account at 20,000 to consignment account credit. The C is the correct option for this load entry. So 20,000 profit element added to cost. If you want to write the journal adjustment entry for this 20,000 goods sent on consignment account debit to consignment account credit. I have deliberately taken this adjustment entry first. Now I will take the adjustment entry for goods sent. The journal entry in the books of Atit for goods sent to the Atit. Now as I told you, these are the 4 options given to you. Goods sent on consignment account debit to consignment account credit? No. When the goods are sent, we have given the goods for a consignment function. Consignment is an activity wherein goods are sold at a profit through agent. And when the goods are sent for that activity, the functional account known as consignment functional account, that consignment account is to be debited for them. When the goods are sent, 1,20,000 is to be recorded at an invoice price. So consignment account debit to goods sent on consignment account credit is the correct option. So consignment account debit 1,20,000 to goods sent on consignment account credit 1,20,000. This is the correct option. Now this is how the third multiple choice question is over. Look at the fourth one. What is the cost of goods sent by Atit in transit? Now we have to find out the cost of goods in transit. So whatever the expenses incurred for sending the goods, those expenses are to be added to the cost, and by that you get, by addition you get the cost of goods in transit. Let me prepare a working note for that. So these are the various options are given to you. Cost of goods is 1 lakh. Expenses incurred for sending the goods are this one. So these are the expenses required to be added to find out the cost of goods in transit. I am preparing one working note for your better understanding. Number of units sent 1,000. Cost price 1 lakh. This is the invoice price. Now expenses incurred for sending the goods 1,000 plus 200 plus 800. So total expenses incurred are 2,000. So cost of goods in transit is 1,02,000. So option D is the correct answer. So option D is the correct answer. Cost of goods in transit is 1,02,000. Now after this fourth multiple choice question, what is the invoice price of goods sent by Atit in transit? Now you are asked a second question. The invoice price of the goods sent by Atit in transit. So whenever you want to find out the value in transit, may it be invoice price or may it be cost price, cost in transit or invoice price in transit, you are required to add the expenses for sending the goods. So here, in light of that, so these are the options given to you. Look at this chart. 1,20,000 is the invoice price, expenses incurred for sending the goods are 2,000. So 1,22,000 is the invoice price of goods in transit. So 1,22,000, B is the correct option for this multiple choice question. Now next, what is the cost of goods sent at Godhra? Now goods are sent from Ahmedabad. Expenses incurred for sending the goods are this for 2,000. So you get the cost of goods in transit. Now these goods are received by the consignee at Godhra. The expenses are incurred by consignee at Godhra on receiving goods. They are required to be added to it. By that you will get the cost of goods at the destination of consignee. So what is the cost of goods at Godhra? So what is the cost of goods at Godhra? So for that you are required to add, he paid 500 for carriage, 1,500 for insurance, and this is advertisement expenditure. Advertisement expenditure cannot be added because it's an expense related to sale. So you are required to add. So these are the options given to you. What is the cost of goods sent to Godhra? Options are A, 1,24,000, B, 132, C, 1,04,000, 1,26,000. Now look at this information relevant to our question. So 500 plus 1,500, 2,000. It is added to the cost. So, cost of goods at consignee's destination is 1,04,000. So, option C, 1,04,000 is the correct answer. Notice it. Now, next question. What is the cost per top recorder at Godhra? Now, Godhra is a consignee's destination. What is the cost price per unit that is being questioned? Now here is the cost price 1,04,000 and this is the cost price of 100 units. So what is the cost price per unit? So these are the options given to you. 1020, 1040, 1240, 1220. Now to find out the cost price per unit, the cost of 1,04,000 will be divided by 100 units. So you will get 1040 is the cost per unit, cost per tape recorder, which is available to the consignee for the purpose of selling. So 1040 is the cost per unit at consignee's destination, that is Godhra. So 1040 is the correct answer. Next. Now the next one, cost of 2 tapes destroyed by fire. 2 tape recorders were completely destroyed due to fire, which took place in the godown during the year, and the insurance company admitted a claim of 2,000. So this is the relevant information. So these are the options given to you. Now you are asked the cost of 2 taps destroyed. We have already worked out the cost per tap, but the same question can be, same answer could be arrived at in an alternative manner. So 2 units are destroyed. So 100 units cost is 1,04,000 and invoice price is 1,24,000. What is the cost per unit for 2 units? So 100 units cost is 1,04,000. What is the cost of 2 units? That is 2080. Or if you remember, 1040 was the cost per tape recorder. For 2, 1040 multiplied by 2. So 2080. So cost of 2 units destroyed. Option B is the correct answer. The cost of 2 tape recorders destroyed by fire is 2040. Now next, journal entry in the books of Atit for abnormal loss. The abnormal loss has occurred 2080. What is the journal entry for abnormal loss? The journal entry for abnormal loss only without considering the amount to be received from insurance company. The normal entry for abnormal loss. So these are the options given to you. Which are the options given to you? Consignment account debit to abnormal loss account credit, abnormal loss account debit to profit and loss account, abnormal loss account debit to consignment account, and profit and loss account debit to abnormal. These are the 4 options given to you. Abnormal loss, expenses and losses are always debited. So abnormal loss account is to be debited. So out of these 3, B and C, wherein the abnormal loss account is debited. Now abnormal loss account is debited. Which account is to be credited? The goods go out the consignment activity. So consignment activity, the consignee has this many units less available for sale. So consignment account is to be credited for that. So abnormal loss account debit to consignment account credit is the correct journal entry for abnormal loss. This is how this 9th multiple choice question is being considered. Now next, journal entry in the books of Atit for insurance claim accepted. So 2000 is the amount to be received from the insurance company against the abnormal loss. Our abnormal loss is, as we have identified, 2080. Claim received is 2000. So 2000 could be recovered against the loss. 8 is the loss that is to be identified, and that will be debited to profit and loss account. But to explain this, so these are the various options given to you for the journal entries. Just read it. Insurance company account debit to profit and loss account credit. Insurance company account debit, profit and loss account debit to abnormal loss account. Profit and loss account debit to abnormal loss account. Abnormal losses, these are the various options given to you. Now we have already debited abnormal loss account with 2080. The insurance claim to be received against this loss is 2000. So 2080 minus 2000, net loss 80, that will be debited to profit and loss account. So on the basis of this information, if you want to write down the journal entry, insurance company account debit, profit and loss account debit to abnormal loss account credit. So B is the correct answer. Insurance company account debit 2000, profit and loss account debit 80, to abnormal loss account credit 2080. So option B is the correct answer for this multiple choice question. So this is how abnormal loss is identified and recorded in the absence of insurance claim. But even if the insurance claim is associated with abnormal loss, how the journal entries could be recorded, that is being mentioned with the help of this multiple choice question number 10. Now next. The next multiple choice question. Journal entry in the books of Atit for bills receivable accepted by Gaurav. So this is the information relevant for it. So these are the journal, various 4 options are given to you for the journal entries. Journal entry in the books of Atit for bills receivable accepted by Gaurav. Gaurav is a consignee. Consignee has accepted the bills receivable drawn by the consigner. Acceptor is a giver. Gaurav is an acceptor. Gaurav is giver. Credit the giver. Gaurav account is to be credited. Now bills receivable is a negotiable instrument. It's an actionable claim. It is valued just like asset. So you acquire a right to recover money from the consignee at the instance of a signature on the bill of exchange. So bill of exchange is identified just like an asset. The asset comes to your ownership. Debit what comes in your ownership. So bills receivable account debit to consignee Gaurav account credit, that is the journal entry. So bills receivable account debit to Gaurav account credit. Option A is the correct answer for this journal entry. Next. What is the amount received and the discount allowed on discounted bills receivable with bank on 4th of February 2007 at 12% discount? So these are the options given to you. The amount received and the discount. These 4 options are given to you. 20,400, 19,200, 400, 19,600 and 400, 19,800 and 200. Now let me have a calculation and explanation for that. Bill is drawn on 1/1/2007. Bill is drawn for 3 months. So 3 days of grace are added. So due date of the bill is 4/4/2006. So 4th of April is the due date. The bill is discounted on 4th of February. So 2 months prior to the date of maturity. So 2 months discount will be calculated. So 2 months discount will be calculated. On what amount? 20,000. So 20,000 into 2 months, 2 by 12, at 12%, 400 is the discount. So 400 is the discount. 20,000 is the bill receivable amount. Bill receivable 20,000 minus 400, 19,600 is the amount received. So answer to this multiple choice question, cash received is 19,600 and discount is 400. This is how option C is the correct answer. Now, next multiple choice question. Journal entry in the books of Atit for bill receivable discounted with the bank on 4th February to the 12% discount. Here we are going to write down, we are going to identify the journal entry for this transaction. So options given to us are, so these are the 4 options given to us. Bills receivable account debit, bank account credit, consignment account credit. See, bill is discounted, cash is received, bank account cannot be get. First entry is wrong. Bills receivable account debit to bank account credit. No cash payment is made, so bank account credit entries are not to be considered. So A and B are out of question. We have received 19,600 and the expenses of discount. This expense is identified as the expense of consignment activity. So consignment account is to be debited for this financial cost. So a cash received debited to bank account or cash account. The discount being expense identified as an expense of the consignment activity. So financial cost of consignment activity debited to consignment account. So consignment account is to be debited with 400 and you have given bills receivable actionable claim or you have transferred the bills receivable. The right of claim is given to the bank. So you have transferred the asset. If the asset goes out of your ownership, bills receivable account is to be credited for that. So bank account debit, consignment account debit for discount to bills receivable account credit 20,000. This is the journal entry for discounting of bill. Now next. Sales value of the tape recorder sold by Gaurav. So 3, 4 and 5 are the transactions which mentions the goods sold by the consignee. So these are the options given to you, 4 options. Now 20 tape recorders at 1200. So 20 into 1200, this is the sales proceeds. 60 tape recorders are sold to Botilal. So 60 into 1600 is the sales proceeds. 10 tape recorders at 1500 to Popatal on credit. So this is the total sales value. So total goods sold by the consignee, the sales value of the number of tape recorders sold is 1,35,000. The number of tape recorders sold are 60, 20 and 10 against 100 cents. So 90% of the goods are sold and the sales value of the 90% of the goods is 1,35,000. So 1,35,000. Option B is the correct answer to this multiple choice question. Next. Journal entry in the books of Atit for sale by Gaurav. So what is the journal entry for that? Now goods are sold. The proceeds either are received or receivable by the Gaurav. Consignee is going to receive the money for credit sales or for cash sales. Consignee has already received the money. As there is a Dalkandar commission is given, so for credit sales also the consignee account is to be debited. So consignee account is to be debited for this sales and goods go out of consignment activity. So consignment activity account is known as consignment account. So consignment account is to be credited for that. So these are the options given to you. So sold consignment account is to be credited for that. So 1,35,000 is required to be credited to consignment account. Which account is to be debited? The consignee account is to be debited. So option C is the correct answer. Consignee account debit to consignment account credit. Gaurav account debit 1,35,000 to consignment account credit. So option C is the correct answer for this sales transaction. Next. Commission payable to Gaurav by Atit rupees. These are the options given to you. How much commission is payable? 4% normal and 2% Dalkandar commission. So total 6% commission is to be paid. We here give the commission 6% on the total sales. Notice it. So 1,35,000 into 6%, 8,100 is the commission to be paid. So option B is the correct answer. So commission payable to Gaurav at the rate of 6%. In that 2% is Dalkandar commission, wherein the responsibility of bad debt loss is transferred or shifted to the shoulders of consignee. And so this is the commission payable to the consignee, 8,100. Now, journal entry in the books of Atit consignor for commission to Gaurav. So commission to be paid to consignee. That is how much? 8,100. What is a journal entry? Commission is an expense. Expense of the consignment activity are debited to consignment account. The amount is payable to consignee. So consignee account is to be credited for that. So these are the 4 options given to you. Atit account debit, Gaurav account credit. 2 persons no. Atit account debit, Atit is a consignor. Commission is paid by consignor, not to be paid to consignor. Gaurav account debit to consignment account credit. Consignment account debit to Gaurav. So these are the four options given to you. Commission is an expense. Expense of consignor. Who is consignor? Atit. Expense of consignor. Expense of consignor for consignment activity. Expense of consignment activity are to be debited to consignment account. So consignment account is to be debited with 8,100. And amount is to be paid to consignee for the services rendered. Consignee is a giver of services. So credit the giver. So Gaurav account is to be credited. So the correct journal entry option D is the correct answer. Consignment account debit to Gaurav account credit 8,100. This is how this multiple choice question is being answered. Next. Journal entry in the books of Gaurav. Now Gaurav is a consignee. Commission is an income for the consignee. What is the journal entry that consignee will record for this commission? For their options are given to you. So these are the options. Now commission is an income. Commission income account is to be credited. So this commission account B and C are the probable options. Now these commission services are rendered by the consignee. To whom? To the consignor. What is the name of the consignor? Consignor name is Atit. So he is a receiver of services. Debit the receiver. So the journal entry for that Atit account debit to commission account credit, that is the journal entry for commission to be recorded in the books of consignee, that is agent. Here Gaurav is the agent. So Gaurav records the entry. Atit account debit, consignor account debit to commission account credit. This is the entry. Next. Now next MCQ. Journal entry for bad debts in the books of Gaurav. So these are the options given to you. Now this bad debt loss incurred by agent while earning the commission income. So this loss is to be adjusted against commission. Bad debt loss is an expense. Expenses and losses are debited. Normally when the bad debt loss occurs, bad debt account is to be debited. But in this case, bad debt account cannot be debited, but you have to debit commission account. And notice that in option C, commission account is debited. So commission account debit to debtors account credit. Option C is the correct answer. This is an important consideration to be noticed by the students. Next. Profit on consignment account. Now this is entire sum is given to you. You are asked the profit on consignment account. So it is easy to find out the profit on consignment account. Sales proceeds minus expenses incurred for selling and commission are to be deducted therefrom. Then percentage of goods sold, that will be deducted. So here these are the various options given to you for the profit on consignment activity. Now I want to find out the profit of consignment activity without preparing consignment account. How to do that? So first of all, I will write down the sales proceeds. As you know that the sales proceeds, total sales proceeds for 90 tap recordings is 1,35,000. From that you are required to deduct the expenses for commission and advertisement. So 6% commission, as you know. Advertisement expenses are also to be deducted. So these are the sales expenses are deducted. So this is a net sales proceeds after deducting the sales expenses. From that, as you know that 90 tap recorders are sold. The 100 units cost is 1,04,000. So 1,04,000 is the cost of 100 units. 90% cost will be deducted from the sales of 90% of the units. So deduct therefrom 100 into 1,000 plus 2,000 plus 2,000, 1,04,000. So this 1,04,000 is the cost of 100 units. 90% thereof. So 90% of the cost of goods and. So that works out to be 93,600. So sales proceeds minus cost of goods sold. So profit on consignment activity. So 31,620 is the profit on consignment. So this is how you can work out the profit on consignment. Now, this is the theoretical explanation. Generally, we find out the profit of consignment activity by preparing consignment account. But this is a multiple choice question. So we should avoid preparing consignment account. So 31,620 is the profit. Now invoice price of the consignment stock. So these are the options given to you. So 98 units were available for sale. Out of the 90 units are already sold. So consignment stock is of 8 tape recorders. Invoice price of consignment stock. What is the invoice price of 8 tape recorders? So 98. Cost price and invoice price I already worked out in my working note. What is for 8? So 98 units invoice price is 1,21,520. How much for 8 units? So 9920 is the invoice price of 8 units. So option D is the correct answer. 9920 is the invoice price of consignment stock. Now, adjustment entry in the books of Atit for consignment stock at an invoice price. Now you are asked the adjustment entry. The adjustment entry in the books of Atit for consignment stock at an invoice price. Consignment stock is to be credited to consignment account. It is credited here at an invoice price. So consignment account is to be credited. Consignment stock account debit to consignment account credit is the correct answer. So consignment stock account debit to consignment account credit. Option C is the correct answer for this consignment stock adjustment entry. Next, cost price of the consignment stock. You know that I already worked out the cost price of the consignment stock, 8 unit stock. 98 units stock cost price is 1,01,920. How much for 8? It is based on this calculation. So you know that the cost price of the consignment stock is 8320. So this is the A. Option A is the correct answer. Stock reserve. The cost price and invoice price difference is identified as stock reserve. So to find out the stock reserve, 9920 minus 8320, 1600 is the stock reserve. So option B is the correct answer for the adjustment entry for stock reserve. Now, adjustment entry in the books of Atit for stock reserve. What is the adjustment entry for stock reserve? Stock reserve reduces the invoice price. Invoice price of the stock is credited to consignment account. And to reduce the invoice price of consignment stock, consignment account is to be debited for stock reserve. So these are the options given to you. Consignment account debit to stock reserve account credit. Option A is the correct answer. 1600. Option A is the correct answer for adjustment entry for stock reserve. So this is the 27th multiple choice question explained to you. So on the basis of this sum, how the various types of multiple choice questions could be framed and asked, that is being explained to you here by preparing various working notes. So these are the various multiple choice questions explained to you. I have tried to explain you all this multiple choice question, taking into consideration one sum. I feel that you have followed all these things. Thanks to you.